Hello and welcome back to Remember the Flowers. We will be continuing where we left off as usual. And if you recall, it's with this guy in the train. We left in the middle of the night, had an altercation with alligator, crocodile, and Cooper, beat them up hilariously. And yeah, now we're in the train. He carried us there. We're wounded. We lost a lot of blood. But yeah, we're safe now. Wink wink. So yeah, let's see what hilarity we get into in this update. Little by little, the sun's rays peer through the few cracks of the train car. There's just enough light to slowly wake me up. The worst way to wake up. It feels weird to miss my alarm clock. I'm going to be pretty drowsy today. The loss of blood doesn't help. Oh right, I lost a lot yesterday, didn't I? I slowly sit up in the makeshift bed Cooper set up for me and examine my right hand. Yep, that's a lot of damage. What? I almost forgot he was right there. I'm not used to waking up in the same room as him. Oh, just talking to myself. Okay, weirdo. How are you feeling? If I'm in pain, I can't feel it, so I guess I'm fine. Even so, take it easy for today. We're gonna be dropping you off tomorrow. Wait, what? Tomorrow? Yep. One of my contacts got in touch with me last night. We're gonna be rendezvousing in one of the cities near Resoom instead of dropping you off there myself. Oh. What? That's really sudden. It is. There's an awkward silence. I think there's something we both want to say. I don't have the courage to. Not yet. Thankfully, Cooper breaks the silence. You'll be fine. I know they'll take great care of you. How do you know? I've been in the business for a long time. Can you tell me what I should expect? Not anything more than you know, I'm afraid. Which is next to nothing. Afraid so. Sorry. It's fine. It's not his fault. Doesn't help with my anxiety, though. Sorry. For what? I clutch my chest as my heart starts to pound. You can probably sense that. I can. Sorry. It's okay. Cooper gets up to come sit next to me. You'll be fine. We sit against the wall for a while. Damn, I'm trying not to be so obvious. I want to work on my poker face per Cooper's suggestion, but I guess I'm failing. Although at this point, I'm too tired to try and feign any semblance of confidence. I'm scared. You sure I can't just stay with you? I'm sure. Cooper shoots down the notion rather quickly. They'll just hunt us down if we ditch. I like you, Cyrus, but I have to look after myself too. I get it. Sorry. It's okay. It's not. But what can I do? He's just following orders. It sucks, but I don't want him to get in trouble because of me. So I just sit there and sigh. Like I always do. Hey, come on. We got a whole day left. We might as well make the most of it. At least he's trying. He's right, I should try to think positively. What do you have in mind? This train has a few rest stops along the way. I figured we could get out of the car and stretch our legs for a bit. It usually stops for about an hour to refuel at least once a day. You sound well traveled. I'd say this is my 17th time sleeping in this exact car. I guess it's an improvement to a random alleyway. Glad to hear you think so. Cooper lets out a yawn, and I can't help but follow his lead. It's not as comfy as my bed, though. I don't know, this bed you made me was pretty serviceable. That's because it's probably the first bed you slept on in who knows how long. Damn, got me there. We both chuckle. I'll miss bantering like this. Do you have any plans once this is all over? I have some ideas. Like what? Can you keep a secret? I can certainly try. I'll take it. First things first, I'm planning to move away to another sector. Oh? Once I finish escorting you, they promised a good sum of money. I want to at least improve my living situation. Well, I'm glad. Just being in your apartment for a few days had me worried, to say the least. I'm not surprised. It's not exactly the most glamorous way to live. It's really not. You might want to consider another line of work, though. Cooper looks up at the ceiling. I think he's giving that some thought. I don't know. I've been a freelancer for years now. Not sure I do well with a standard job. You've been a mercenary for how long? Maybe, like, 6 years? If you can handle work like this for that long, you can probably work in an office or something. Blech. The thought of wearing a uniform gives me hives. Aw, come on. You look good in a suit, I bet. I can hear his tail swishing against the floor. Maybe. I'll give it some thought. Do it. You deserve to live a good life. Not so sure about that, but it's nice that you think so. Cooper smirks as he pulls up his Axiom window. Although, if all goes well, I could take a pretty long break from doing any jobs. Maybe a decade or two. That doesn't sound very responsible. Which sounds very me. You don't give yourself enough credit. You've been taking excellent care of me these past several days. That's... No, don't downplay it. Sure, you've been a bit aggravated from time to time, but who can blame you? I don't think it's easy for anyone to deal with the freelance work, especially escorting someone who has amnesia, no less. Cooper tries to speak up, but I continue. You might think it's no big deal, but what you're doing is very dangerous, and you still know how to have a good time. That kind of thing wears on someone. If you can do this for more than half a decade, you can find yourself a better job that's worth your time. I exhale as I finish my spiel. Not something I was expecting to do right when I woke up. Cooper looks away and rubs the back of his head before sighing loudly. I'll think about it. I appreciate it. Cooper's trying to be humble, but the sound of that thumping tail is giving him away. You're welcome. Now, what should we do for breakfast? Oh, I packed some sandwiches. Since our trip's not going to be as long, feel free to eat some more. I wouldn't want the extras to go bad. Sounds good to me. After yesterday, I won't turn down some extra food. I don't blame you. You took a nasty hit, along with losing a decent amount of blood. I tried to tell you I wasn't ready to have a weapon. I say with a bit of exasperation as I unwrap the sandwich Cooper handed me. You know, that's fair. I should have given you a crash course on how to properly hold a knife. Well, if you had unlocked the gun, I probably wouldn't have needed to use it. First off, you didn't even use it. Second off... He pauses. Yeah, I got nothing. I should have turned your gun on. I got some childish satisfaction over being right. Still, I'd rather not dwell on this any more than I have to. Well, it all worked out in the end. I guess so. I just hope my employers don't get too pissy about your hand. It doesn't hurt at all. It'll be fine. That's not really what I'm worried about. Aw, come on, what are they gonna do? Think you hurt just my hand? I'm sure they'll understand if I just tell them what happened. You'd be surprised. They're pretty protective. Oh yeah? You'll see soon enough. Like I said, they'll take good care of you. I hope so. I'm kind of tired of life or death situations. You and me both. You get used to it. I'd rather not. The funny thing about life is that sometimes you don't have a choice. Can't argue with that, I guess. I shrug as I take a bite of my sandwich. Tastes like spam. I forgot y'all got spam here. It comes in handy and keeps for a long time. Apparently so. Spam would be the kind of food to transcend space and time. Hey Cooper, what kind of place is Resoom? Cooper swallows his food to try and speak up, but I quickly add something. Don't say classified. Jeez, I wasn't. Well, I was, but I can tell you some stuff, I guess. Like what? It's kinda creepy. I don't really like it there. That sounds encouraging. But to be fair, it wasn't meant for people like me. You'll be just fine. They guarantee it. Creepy, huh? That certainly piques my interest, considering that's where I'll be staying apparently. So what makes it creepy? You're a tough guy. That means it's pretty weird over there. Hmm, how do I put it in a way that doesn't get me in trouble? He thinks to himself for a bit before waving his hand. It's just not right in some ways. I'll admit that they do a lot of good, but they got some shady things going on behind those walls. Walls? Oops. But yeah, it's pretty fortified. I guess it's more accurate to call it a dome. Next to impossible to break in. Huh. Sounds more like a facility than a city. Is there a reason they're like that? There is. Resoom is well known for housing one of the leading medical facilities on the planet. Even I'll admit that if it wasn't for them, society as we know it wouldn't have survived the 7 stars. Oh yeah, I guess that is pretty important. Indeed. On the flip note, I think some of their operations are scummy. But again, I think they're necessary. Oh well, whatever gets me paid. That is also pretty important. Glad you think so. I knew you were a smart guy. I try. I was halfway through getting my doctorate. You went to school? Yeah? That explains a lot. What does? I didn't really go to school. Cooper says it like it's no big deal. Oh? Why? It's not super prevalent around here. They teach you to read and type as the bare essentials. After that, you're pretty much on your own in terms of education. Is that normal? Cooper scratches the back of his head. Someone's got a lot of questions today, huh? I don't know what else we could be doing right now besides chatting. I hate that you're right. I usually am. Oh yeah, that explains your cooking. I said usually, not always. I can see that. We laugh at that. Cooper ruffles my hair again. Stop! I try to pat it back down. Don't be such a stick in the mud. That's a common way for canines to show affection. Not sure I particularly want your affection. Deal with it. I grumble as I continue to flatten my hair. For messing up my hair, I'd like you to answer my question. Cooper sighs in annoyance. Alright, fine. I guess that's a fair trade. Cooper clears his throat and sits up some more. Is not getting an education normal? Yes and no. It honestly just depends on if your family can afford it or not. Sounds about right. Cooper smirks and continues. We didn't have much money. Some kids who showed promise got their education extended, but some of us got stuck with learning the basics. Some kids? Damn, that's some serious favoritism. Although, I don't know their circumstances. I shouldn't judge their actions. That's a crappy situation for your parents to be forced into. I'm sure they would have wanted you to get an education too. Cooper looks surprised. Huh? How what? Oh. Cooper sighs and rubs the back of his head. What? Look, promise you're not gonna get all worried about me over this. Over what? I was adopted. He states plainly. I blink before trying to continue. Cooper interrupts me. And before you get the wrong idea, I don't really care. I've made peace with it. My folks didn't want me. That's fine. I wouldn't want kids either. Well now, this certainly took a turn. Whoa. Slow down for a second. Hmm? He's looking as nonchalant as ever. That's a lot to dump all at once. Are you sure you're okay? I just said not to worry about it. But I've done this speech for years. Seriously, Cyrus. It's fine. If you say so. It's cute that you want to help people so bad. Please don't refer to me as cute. I scrunch my nose at that. Gross. Cooper chuckles. Fine. But still, look out for yourself more. You got a hole in your memory, not to mention your head, along with a mangled hand. That's not even talking about everything else you've got going on. I'm the least of your concerns, bud. Like I said, we're probably not going to see each other after all this. No need to get so attached to me. Easy for you to say. You're the only person I know around here. You'll meet other people. Maybe your memory will come back and you'll remember all sorts of people from around here you know. I'm not from around here, though. Oh, right. Yeah, I guess you'll be pretty lonely over there. Thanks. Anytime. I huff to feign some annoyance. But again, I'm gonna miss bantering like this. Actually, it's not just that. I think I'm starting to realize that I'm gonna miss being around him in general. He can be a bit crude, but he's also pretty sensitive when something's wrong. I think he's trying at least. Cooper proves me right almost instantly. Jokes aside, you'll be fine, Cyrus. I hope so. What are you so scared of? The unknown? I don't know what anything around here is. You're just about the only semblance of safety I have. Don't flatter me. If anything, I've just dragged you into danger. Give yourself some credit. You let me, a stranger, stay in your home and even fed me. That was. I don't think all of that was in your job description. I think you're just a good guy, even if you're a bit of a dick. Cooper flicks his ears. I can hear a swish from his tail as well. Hmm. I'm just doing what I'm getting paid to do. That's all. Well, even so, thank you for taking care of me. Whatever. Cooper is the one to huff this time, along with looking a bit dejected. Seriously, I don't need any thanks at all. Don't mention it. Looks like we both have problems giving ourselves credit. Whatever you say. I still appreciate it. Hmm. Cooper grumbles before stretching his arms a bit. Oops, I guess that conversation was a bit heavy. Let's change this topic to something less sappy. I snort. Uh-huh. Like what? Well, to be honest, I was curious about your name. Cyrus? Your whole name, dummy. Cyrus Gallahan Cantwell, right? Oh yeah, what about it? I've never heard of a name like Gallahan or even Cyrus. I'm not surprised. They're not exactly common names back home either. Do they mean anything? Kind of. I always thought it was a bit embarrassing, though. Cooper snorts. Why? Well, my first and middle name were borrowed from characters my parents liked. Characters? Like, from a story? Basically. Do y'all have video games here? Yeah, I think so. I've never played them, but I knew someone who did. My dad named me after a video game character. Nothing wrong with that. I know, it's kind of sweet, but I don't know. The idea of being named after a video game character makes me cringe a bit. I guess. It sounds cooler than Cooper, though. I'd pick something else if I could. Aw, come on. Cooper is a perfectly serviceable name. Thanks. I guess. Of course. Hmm. Anyway, Gallahan was named after a character in an old story, The Legend of King Arthur. Sounds impressive. I guess. I think Gallahan would have been a cooler first name than Cyrus. I can see that. It definitely sounds more interesting. Agreed. My mom was a huge history buff. She used to read me a bunch of older literature when I was little. Cooper pauses for a moment before smiling. That's sweet. Yeah, I miss her. I can imagine. I'm sure you'll see her again. One day. Hopefully. Cooper reaches up to my head again, but instead of messing my hair up, he opts to just pat it. There, lonely human. I'm not that lonely. Could have fooled me. I've never had an escortee get so attached. I still don't think that's a word. Guess you'll never know. Hmm, is that bad though? I don't mind considering you a friend. Cooper grimaces. You need better standards. For all intents and purposes, this is just a job, but... But... Cooper groans. I guess I don't mind considering you one of my best escortees ever. Congrats. You get the Escortee of the Year award. Woo! Thanks. I'm honored. We both laugh. In all seriousness, I think it would be best for you to try and forget me once all this is over. It'll just lead you to more trouble than you know what to deal with. No. Really? Haha, very funny. Well, to be fair, you're making it hard for me to not get attached to you. I guess that's my fault. I'm just so irresistible. You know, on second thought, maybe I can live without you. Now you're getting it. I roll my eyes. Geez, such a loser. Come on. I'm serious, Sai. I'm not someone you want to mess with for too long. I groan. I'm sure I could handle it. Sorry, just being honest. That's the first. We laugh again together, although this time it's bittersweet. There goes our plans to have a fun time today. It's quiet for a while. I'm starting to reflect on some of our previous interactions. Eventually, I sigh. You know, I don't really get you. Is that so? You're telling me to forget about you, yet you keep telling me fairly personal experiences. That's pretty contradictory. Cooper looks conflicted for a moment, like he's just realizing how flip-floppy he's been. Hmm, uh, I guess it's just because you're easy to talk to. More so than your friends? I don't have that many friends. Wonder why? Ha ha. Cooper says dryly. I can't help but laugh. Sorry, couldn't resist. Hmm, you were saying? I was saying you're pretty easy to talk to. There's something about you. What's that something? Well, for starters, you're more or less the reason I get to start a new life. How lucky for you to stumble upon an amnesiac man who's wanted. I know, right? That was sarcasm. I'm aware of that. It's still true. Finding you really was one of the best things to ever happen to me. Cooper looks absolutely ecstatic about the situation, but he tries to cover it back up with his usual stone face. Sorry, just thinking about all the things that I'll be able to do after this job is making me excited. Job, huh? You know, that's fine. At the end of the day, this is just a job for him. Who am I to take that away? If going along with this helps him in the end, then it'll be worth it. Even so, I shudder at the thought of being alone after everything. Cooper interrupts my thoughts again by placing a paw on my head. You're gonna be fine. But, and I'm going to keep repeating that since you can't get that through your thick skull. But, I grumble, it's hard to build up my confidence. I'm still hoping at some point Deanna bursts in to save the day, or Damien comes to carry me away from all of this. Cooper rubs the top of my head. I don't stop him. Despite how skeevy the facilities in Resoom are, I know for a fact that they're going to take care of you. You promise? I do. I shudder and sigh before leaning back against the wall. I'm really, really trying. I know. It's just... I know. Cooper moves his paw down to my shoulder and pulls me in close. I can smell his vanilla-laced fur. I pause before looking up at him. Despite the bold move he just pulled, his twitching ear is giving away how bashful he really is. Cooper clears his throat before continuing. Ahem. It won't be long, but I'll be your friend till this is all over. How's that sound? God, he's so corny. Nevertheless, I appreciate the gesture. Heh. Thanks, Cooper. I think I'll take you up on that. Just know that I'm quite the handful. Oh, I am well aware. I'm sure you are. Heh. I'll admit it. This is nice. His fur is actually quite soft, and the familiar scent is really putting my mind at ease. This is really nice. If it wasn't so early in the morning, I could definitely take a nap like this. It's about noon, bud. Oh, yeah, you slept in pretty late. This is the one day I wish I didn't. Oh, yeah? Yeah, I like to spend as much time with my friend as I can. I can hear Cooper groan at that. Ugh, don't push your luck. I'll try not to. Cooper rolls his eyes. Hmm. He leans us back against the wall. We sit in silence. The movement of the train is actually quite pleasant, slowly rocking us back and forth. Together. From time to time, I take discreet glances at Cooper. He's smiling. I can't help but do the same. I can do this. I have to. Eventually, Cooper breaks the silence. Hmm. Hmm? You don't have an ID on you, do you? Why would I? You know, you're right. That was a dumb question. Kinda, but why do you ask? Well... Cooper flicks his ear and scratches the side of his face. I wanted to try to register you in my Axiom, but you need an ID to make it work. Why? I wanted to show you some stuff to pass the time. I think there's some kind of game on here too. God, I would love to play some solitaire right now. What's that? A card game for lonely people. Sounds riveting. You'd be surprised. Cooper swipes through some of the screens. They're still pretty blurry for me. Yeah, no, I don't think I can. For how advanced the tech is, I'm surprised how limited it can be. What do you mean? Y'all have phones? Yeah, the Axiom has one built in. Sounds about right. Ours can't do the whole screen projecting thing, but they have a built-in camera, and you don't need to, like, register in it. Doesn't sound very safe. I mean, I guess. Sometimes cyber attacks happen, but they weren't that common. Strange. What? Just thinking about your memories, things you remember are so mundane, yet the important events in your life are still blank. It's really annoying. I bet. Still. I guess it has its positives. I'm sure there are some memories not worth remembering. God knows I have some I wish I could forget. Like? Good attempt. Can't blame me for trying. No, I can't. Cooper chuckles before passing me some more food. Eat. You got a long road ahead of you. I take it out of the wrapping and split it down the middle before handing half to Cooper. Same to you. Cooper smiles. Thanks, Sai. I take a bite out of my half. No problem, Cooper. We start to eat in silence. Well, mostly silence. I can hear Cooper's tail thumping again. Several hours go by. Cooper moved to his side of the car to work on his Axiom. I've been writing in the journal he got me. It hasn't been a week since I woke up here, but I already have so much to write about. Like Marantha back in Tunisia. Or Schmidt back in... whatever that place was. I hope that I can travel again once all of this is over. I'm slowly making peace with the idea that I'm far away from home. Very far away. I have to be realistic and understand that I might not even make it back. That's not a happy thought, but it'll soften the blow if it proves to be true. I hope it doesn't come to that, though. Ugh, now I'm making myself sad again. It's hard not to have that mindset. I wonder if I'll find whatever happened to me in Resoom. I lean forward to reach under the blanket of my shirt, feeling one of the ports on my spine. Touching these things still makes me shiver, which is understandable considering that they shouldn't be there, period. I write about the strange orifices in my journal, trying to figure out what the hell I was attached to. Whenever I do, my mind gets all fuzzy. That gets me worried in a whole new way. Was it so traumatizing that I forgot about it? Is it even worth remembering? Okay, calm down. No need to spiral over some theorizing. What if... Hey, Cooper? Hmm? He doesn't look up from his Axiom, but his ears perk up and turn towards me. Can you look at something for me real quick? Cooper raises a brow before turning his head towards me. What? Let me just... I take off Cooper's jacket for a moment and then turn around so that I'm sitting with my back towards him. Do you have any idea what these are? I slowly lift up my shirt to give Cooper a clear view. I hear a quiet gasp, but I don't turn around. Cooper doesn't respond, so I have to. Pulling my shirt down, I look at him. He looks stunned, almost scared. Cooper? Dude, you're like scaring me. Sorry. I wasn't expecting to see... that. Now I'm getting worried. See what exactly? Cooper shudders and shakes his head. Uh, it's nothing. It just looks kinda painful. Maybe. Good thing I can't feel it though. Good thing indeed. I can hear him give a quiet growl before going back to typing on his axiom. He looks angry. I reluctantly leave him be. This just leaves me with more questions than answers. Ugh, my head's starting to hurt again. I want to go home. Wherever that might be. I keep scribbling in my journal, not really writing anything coherent at this point. Just venting to myself. I wish I had my phone or something. Mom would tell me to read a book if there wasn't any technology, but I don't even have that. What did she do when she was younger? The early 2000s had some phones, I think. So, maybe? For once, I'm glad I'm going on an internal tangent. I'm tired of thinking about stressful shit. So tired that I think I'm going to take a nap. I didn't intend to waste what little time we have left together, but all of this mental gymnastics left me exhausted. I'm gonna take a nap, I think. Hmm. Cooper grunts in response. I put his jacket back on. I'm pleasantly reminded of the vanilla scent. It's one of the last thoughts I have before I take an afternoon nap. I'm not sure how long I've been asleep before Cooper wakes me up. Psst. We're coming up on a rest stop. Let's go stretch our legs. Groan. Sorry, I don't speak onomatopoeia. Cooper carefully lifts me up while I'm still half asleep. Damn. I snap awake. I mean, Cooper. Cooper snorts before setting me on my feet. Cyrus. Shut up. I didn't say anything. Yet. Cooper snickers. I use my hair to block some of my face. God, that is embarrassing. I shake the grogginess out of my head. Ugh. What are we doing? The train stopped. It won't move for a while, so I thought we'd go and look around. Uh, define a while. At least 30 minutes. It's usually an hour, but you were still sleeping, hence why I woke you up. I don't know if it's a good idea to leave. We'll be close by, so we'll be within sight. At least come and stretch your legs a bit. I'm glad you've been resting, but you should move around too. I'm not buying it. Is there another reason? Well... I could use some help. With? I yawn. Come on, I'll help you out. I groan for real this time. Fine. Don't worry, it'll be worth it. I'm sure it will be. I grumble as I let Cooper take me out of the car. Once again, he's right. Being able to stretch and walk like this is quite nice. My bones are popping like usual, thankfully in a good way. I get the feeling Cooper wants help with something weird. Mainly because Cooper is looking at the ground whilst walking. Like he's looking for something. What are you doing? He's pointing his snout to the ground, trying to find something with his nose. Hang on. I wonder if he's gonna get on the ground and start sniffing. It's kind of funny to see a hardened mercenary sniff around like a drug dog. Although to be fair, I hear they get paid a decent amount. In return for substance abuse therapy. Aha! I raise my eyebrows as Cooper dives his paws into the sand a dozen feet away from the train. He tears into it for about 10 seconds, shoveling sand out of the way. It's kind of impressive. I guess this is another thing dogs have the advantage in. I knew it! Cooper exclaims triumphantly as he pulls something out, letting it shine in the sun. It's small enough for him to hold between his fingers. I have to squint just to make out what it is from here. I think it's a chunk of some kind of rock. It's kind of reflective in the afternoon sun, but not dazzling. It has a bit of blue tint to it, which reminds me of a sapphire. I'll bite. What is it? Something worth at least 1,000 plums. What? That little thing? What? Is that a gemstone? Better. Cooper walks over with a bit of pep in his step before proudly showing me the fruits of his labor. This is a celestial fragment, or if you want to be less pretentious, a lodestar. Uh-huh. And? I'm glad you asked. Where do stars come from? I don't think they come from anywhere, they're just there. Okay, smartass. Where are stars usually? Space? Look at you. I roll my eyes. Can we just get to the point? Alright, alright. Cooper huffs. I can hear his ego deflate. Almost. Long story short, this is the piece of one of the 7 stars. Oh. Wait, like, what? You heard right. I told you they tried blowing them up. This one went all over the place. Cooper points to the ground where he dug it up from. See that in the sand? That's bits of glass from when this piece crash landed. Cooper, that's several feet away. No, I can't see it. Okay, just take my word for it. Ugh. So, what about it? Cooper places it in my good hand so that I can get a better look. It's way more pretty up close. It definitely reminds me of an unrefined gemstone. Just cut it around a bit and you just have a dark blue sapphire. This is a piece of the end of the world. So, why is it worth so much? If it were up to me, I'd say something that started the apocalypse would be worth less than dirt. I hand it back to Cooper. He slides on his axiom to digitize it. From what I gathered, that's kind of what it was back in the day. Most stayed away from the crash sites, for good reason. Then about a century ago, with the remnants of technology we had, people were able to mine a lot of the chunks. Cooper slides away the axiom screen, letting me see the mechanism up close. Lodestars are what power most of our technology now. Whoa. For the first time, I really look at his axiom. It's still mind-boggling that something so sleek and compact is capable of all of that. For the most part, there's not much left of the 7 stars. At least, not around here. Still, you can get lucky and find a fragment or two. I see. That'd certainly be an interesting way to live, just going treasure hunting for the stuff. Interesting is a good word. It's annoying to sell it, though. Gotta go through a bunch of legal mumbo-jumbo with the government. It's almost not even worth doing. Almost is a good word. Cooper gives me a thumbs up. That it is. Well, we got some time to kill. Wanna help me find some? Sure. As long as we don't miss the train when it leaves. We got plenty of time. That thing doesn't just start and bolt off. It's gotta take some time to rev up. I'd say that we have at least 20 minutes or so. I'll hold you to that. That's the spirit. Someone's excited to make some extra cash. Always. Cooper exclaims with optimism. Shh, what if they hear us? They don't even know that we're here. It's fine. Well, let's hope you're right. I sigh as I start to meander a bit away from the train. Oh, you want to follow the smell of burning glass? Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Cooper nods before getting back to treasure hunting. His sniffing is audible even a dozen feet away. His tail is wagging side to side, almost reminding me of divining rods. I doubt I have a nose sensitive enough to smell that. Even if I did, I wouldn't know what burning glass smells like. Oh well, once again, I'll at least humor him. When's the next time I'll be able to walk around the desert like this anyways? Might even find something new to update my journal with. Every now and then I kneel down and play with the sand. It's still pretty warm from breaking in the sun all day. It feels kind of good, to be honest. I doubt I'll be able to find anything, but this is more fun than just sitting in the car. Something in the corner of my eye catches my attention. Something green. Oh wow, cacti. I make my way over to the tall green stalks. There's a lot of them over here. There's even some other types of desert plants sprouting at the base of the cacti. I think Deanna once said that cacti are mainly water. Can the other flowers siphon water from the cacti? Now more than ever, I wish I had my own axiom. Or just my phone. I would always call Deanna if I had a plant-related question. She'd take me to the greenhouse and give me the rundown on how to take care of whatever new exotic plant she got. Man, I miss that too. Sadly, my memories of our time in the greenhouse are still hazy. Hopefully that doesn't last too long. I crouch down to inspect the flowers sprouting from the sand. I nod with a smile. As I thought, I have no idea what these are. They look kind of like wildflowers, but definitely not the right color. I thought they were usually white, while these look almost like a lighter shade of green. Still, they're pretty. Just looking at the flowers like this makes me feel nostalgic. I should have helped Deanna out more back then. A bright flower attracts my attention the most. One sprouting right from one of the bigger cacti. Wow. I raise my left hand up to caress the flower. It's amazing that something like this can bloom in the desert. I'm kind of surprised by how soft it is. There has to be a metaphor somewhere about how something so pretty can bloom in a place so desolate. I'm too tired to think of one though. I wonder... I try to tug at it. I kind of want to bring it along. Maybe I can try to sketch it in my journal. I've never been the best at drawing, but the flower won't stay healthy forever. Try as I might, I can't muster up enough strength to yank it off. Wish I was ambidextrous. I didn't realize how much my left hand had really atrophied. I sigh and I give up. Maybe one of these on the ground would be better anyway. They look more like traditional flowers. I feel kind of bad just ripping them out from the roots. At least the cacti will bloom again. I don't know what compels me, but I slowly start digging with my left hand. These roots go down farther than I thought. They're at least 8 inches under the sand. I graze something with the tip of my finger. Something hard. A rock? I try to look into the small hole I made, but it's hard to see anything. I look at my right hand for a moment. I mean, it's not like I can feel the pain, right? Against my better judgment, I use my thankfully numb hand to help push some of the sand away. Here's hoping I don't get anything in the bandages. Eventually, I unearth one of the flowers along with a sizable rock. I smell something acrid. The rock is blue and fits in the palm of my hand. I think it's a lodestar. If it is, it's huge, way bigger than the one Cooper found. Holy shit, did I really just find this? What do I do with it? I look behind me for Cooper. He's fairly far away, but within sight. The thought crosses my mind to keep it, but what would I even do with it? Oh, I know. Cooper! Hey, over here! I wave to Cooper and shout. If he can barely hear me, no one from the train can. Sure enough, I can see those little yellow triangles point in my direction before Cooper starts jogging slightly to reach me. What's up? He starts sniffing the air, looking towards the ground. Find something? I sure did. I present the fruits of my labor. His eyes look like they were about to pop right out of their head upon seeing the lodestar. What the fuck? You found that? Here? Yes, sirree. Right here, in fact. I point towards a hole in the ground before wiping the sand away from my pants with my free hand. You want it? Uh-huh. I hold it out to him. Take it. You can make better use out of it than I could. I can't just... I know he wants to. Now's not the time to let pride take over. I think it's fair compensation for taking care of me. Deal? But... Also, I point to the big pink flower growing from the cactus. You gotta cut that off for me. I want to bring it along. Cooper blinks for a moment before laughing. God, you're such a freak. Cooper chuckles a little before pulling a knife out and carefully cutting the flower off at the base. He gently hands it to me. It almost looks like a rose. That ain't gonna cut it though. Here. Cooper takes out the other lodestar he found earlier. You can have this, as a keepsake. It's a deal. We exchange the chunks of lodestar. Cooper immediately starts to inspect the chunk I gave him. I move my smaller piece around at different angles. It's pretty. We don't have time to admire the small fortunes we found as the train starts to make an ungodly sound. Whoops, there's our ride. Here, get on. Cooper crouches down. I don't even have to think. I just climb onto his back. I thought you said... Oh, shut it. It was worth it. Hang on. We both laugh as Cooper makes a mad dash for the train. It's been about an hour since we got back on the train. The sun is starting to set, making it get darker and darker inside the car. We haven't said anything since we got back on. The realization that our last day together is ending has sunk in, at least for me. Cooper's been using his axiom with a smile on his face. He's holding up the chunk of Lodestar with his free hand. I think he's trying to appreciate it. Meanwhile, my anxiety has been spiking through the roof. I've been scribbling my flower into the journal for a while now. They're mostly incoherent drawings. Occasionally, I have to practice my breathing exercises. I don't want Cooper to pick up on my mood swings. When I do glance at him, I only notice his ears somewhat perked in my direction. That doesn't last long as he continues fiddling with his axiom. Ever so often I open my mouth to try to strike up a conversation, but I can't think of what to say. I mean, I have so many things I want to talk about, but knowing that I won't be able to get through them all before we leave keeps me from starting. I want to know more about Acquia, about Lodestars. My head starts to hurt again. About Cooper. I don't want to lose another friend so soon. Hey. I whip my head towards Cooper, almost out of desperation. You... okay? I don't even hesitate. No, no I'm not. Jeez. Sorry. It's nothing you need to apologize for. Tomorrow's a big day for both of us. Do you want to eat? It's a bit early, but we could have dinner now. Not really. I'm not super hungry. Suit yourself. You can eat if you want. Don't wait on me. I'll be fine. Right. Cooper grunts as he sits up and walks to sit on my right again. You're talking to the guy who's lived by himself for the past several years. I think I know a thing or two about how bad it is to be alone. Cooper points to my journal. What you doing? Huh? Oh. I almost want to close the book. The drawings really don't look too good. I was just, sketching the flower you helped me get. Wow, that's impressive. I snort. Come on, you can barely tell what it is. Hey, I can't do something like that. I doubt most people I know could. Alright, I guess drawing isn't something he knows how to do. Do you want to try? Huh? Cooper perks his ears up as I hold up the pen. Oh, uh, no. I don't know the first thing about using that thing. You're seriously never held a pen before? Not that I'm aware of. I sigh before reaching for Cooper's left paw with my left hand. It's a bit awkward. Uh, what are you doing? Just relax. Here, open your paw. Cooper does so and lets me take control. Huh, this is payback for teasing my firing stance. I place the pen on his palm and try to curl his digits around it. If I didn't know any better, I'd say he's shaking. Everything okay? Yeah, just don't know how much strength I should use to hold it. I don't want to break it. Way to humble brag about your strength. Pens are fairly durable. Just make sure you have a steady hold on it. Cooper nods as he stabilizes his paw. Surprised you know I'm left-handed. You type on your axiom with it, so I just assumed. Fair enough. I hold the notebook out for him. Here, just try to do something. Ooh, do what? Something. I don't know. Try to make a line. Uh, okay. He messes up one page. Then 2 pages. Then ends up ripping several pages in failure. His ears are pulled back and his eyes are wide. I can't help but break the tension by bursting out in laughter. What? Cooper exclaims in embarrassment before he looks away. Oh my god, for all his expertise, the fact that he can't even draw a simple line on a piece of paper is making me lose it. No, sorry. I shouldn't be laughing at you. It's just... I wasn't expecting you to just rip into it like that. Thank God I can't feel pain. I'm sure my ribs would be hurting at this rate. It's hard, okay? No, it's not. That's why it's so funny. Cooper tosses the pen into my lap and crosses his arms. He huffs aloud, but his tail is still wagging a bit. Once I calm myself down, I pick the pen back up. I tear out the ruined pages. Thankfully, there weren't a lot. Geez, okay, here. I'll show you how to write your name. My name? Yeah, I think it would be good for you to know how to write it. Uh, what? Nothing. I've gotten this far without writing it. I doubt I'd really need to. Well then, you can impress your friends back home. Right. Come on, it'll be fun. Whatever you say. For the next couple of hours, I try to teach Cooper how to write his name. My Cooper Krager versus his Cooper Krager. His attempts weren't bad, but something about his handwriting irks me. It kind of looks like Comic Sans. For his sake, I hope that'll change over time. Cooper breaks out some dinner as we continue working on his penmanship. He's really invested in it at this point. I'm not sure why he's being so competitive about it. Probably a wolf thing. It isn't until Cooper starts yawning that I realize how late it's gotten. I keep going, showing him how to do basic cursive. I don't use it much myself, but it looks pretty. Sigh. Hmm? We should get to bed. I bite my lip. I knew he was gonna say that. But I wanted to show you how to write your name like this. Cyrus. He's got a sleepy, yet stern look on his face. We need to get some sleep. I can't help but yawn myself, which hides my anxious shudder. I can stay up a bit longer. But you shouldn't. Come on. Cooper gets up, but I grab his paw. What? Can you sleep on the side of the car for tonight? I hate that I sound like a child. The tears welling up don't help my case either. Mm, sure. I use Cooper's jacket to discreetly wipe my face as he brings up his makeshift bed over to mine. You okay? I shake my head. That's okay. Let's just get some good sleep, alright? Despite the circumstances, Cooper's putting on a brave face. I can't say I'm doing the same. Come on. Cooper lays down before slowly pulling me down to my pillow. He pulls over each of our blankets. We're under our own, but we're still pretty close. I can still smell his vanilla fur. I stare at him for as long as I can. What? I'll miss you. Cooper flicks his ears at that and huffs. We'll see. He gives a big great yawn before settling down against his pillow. I'll see you in the morning. For the last time. Hmm. He rests his arms over his head and smacks his lips a few times, before flopping his head back, falling fast asleep. Well, that was quick. I'm surprised he's not snoring. He looks completely relaxed, the exact opposite of me. I guess I should try to take a page from his book. Maybe it's because I'm so tired, but I'm not feeling quite as anxious. Could also be because I have a friend by me. That is undeniably a nice feeling. I watch his chest move up and down with each breath. Aw, damn it. I really don't want to go to bed. But sure enough, the more I watch Cooper sleep, the more my body makes me follow. I start matching his breathing, like we did when we met. Breathe in, breathe out. Before I know it, I'm fast asleep. At the very least, I hope this is a restful one. So that's where I'm going to leave it for today. This is a longer than usual update, so I have to cut it into two parts. So you guys are going to have to wait until the second part to see what happens when they arrive at their little rendezvous point. But what do you guys think is going to happen, for the people that haven't played the update yet? And Do you think it was nice, the whole little train ride with Cooper so far? I bet nothing bad's gonna happen in the end. But anyways, thank you all for watching slash listening. If you would like to play Remember the Flowers yourself, you can find it over on itch, or you can find it by going to the official Remember the Flowers Twitter account, which I will link down in the description. And there should be a link for it around there somewhere. And if you would like to support the project, I would also put a link down for the Patreon. And I guess if you would also like to follow Jericho, I might put a link down for that. I mean, I think I already do anyways, so but yeah. I guess I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.